Bridge. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Lighthouse Buddies. My name is Tempe and I'm Tempe on Ravelry and Tempe V on Instagram.
And I'm Chrystal, Chrystal Mo on Ravelry and Chrystal Mo 1 on Instagram.
Wonderful times. What have you been up to lately, Miss Chrystal?
I spent all day at the mechanic yesterday, again, the second Saturday in a row. And they told me last week that when I brought the car in, it would take 3 to 4 hours. And I got there yesterday, it was before 8 o'clock, and they said it would be ready between 3:30 and 4. That's a wee bit more than 3 hours in my book.
A wee bit.
So I went over to the mall, the 29th Street Mall, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I hung out at Panera, and then Jamie came up. She was so kind to come up and keep me company with her daughter. Her daughter is so cute. She's 5.
That's a fun age.
She's adorable. She plays the violin, and she played Twinkle Twinkle for me, on the violin. I was so impressed.
That is impressive.
And, so we went down to Pearl Street. I forgot that it was Parents' Weekend, so the place was absolutely packed. But we went to a bead store, and I got, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw a close-up of the necklace. I got a new necklace. It was $10. Because the little bead was $3, the little necklace was $4, and then getting the metal-y thing was $3. So
you can't put a price on evil eye protection.
if only it was red, then it would be, because isn't the evil eye supposed to be red?
Nope. I looked this up on my Girl Scout troop did Greece for International Bazaar, and it's that Greek blue with the white.
I didn't know that.
We made little bracelets that the other girls could buy.
How cool. So it was really fun. And so now, because the bead store that I used to go to in Longmont closed, they went out of business. So now I found a place to get beads. And her daughter picked out these. I don't know if you can see them. Pinks and purples, because she's a cute little girl.
Yeah.
And then I picked out these. They're white. You can't really see. They're white, but then they're white beads with green stripes on them.
Really? Do you have something in mind for those? Or they just appealed to you? Oh, I see the stripes.
Can you see them? They just appealed to me because the stripes made it a little unusual. So I thought maybe some white yarn.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been up to? You had a busy weekend.
We did have a busy weekend. Yesterday was the Great Forest Park Balloon Race. So Friday. No, the balloon race was yesterday. So Friday night was the Balloon Glow, where in St. Louis you go to Forest Park and they've got all the hot air balloons for that laid out, and you get to watch them all inflate. And then right as it gets dark, they start blowing an air horn and everyone pulls on it and the flames go and they're all glowing. And
Did they have it to the music this year?
No, I didn't hear any music, but we went last year and there were bagpipers. So we went ahead this year looking for them in the same quadrant where they had been last year and found them. My boys loved it. They played the Star Wars theme with bagpipes.
I have to say I was really jealous that I missed Balloon Glow.
It was pretty awesome. We even stayed and saw the fireworks at the end.
Nice.
And then we spent an hour, just trying to get out of Forest Park, but you pay your price. And then we had our Cub Scout Pack family camp out this weekend. So I was in a tent last night.
Did you see the race? Did you see any of the race?
No, okay. I never do.
You don't?
It's crowded enough with the Balloon Glow. We can go outside in our front yard and see some of the balloons, which is pretty neat because you can.
Because I was closer.
Mm-hmm.
I was closer. That's why I always saw it. Okay.
Well, we still see some of the balloons, but not the whole race, just like 2.
Neat.
But we did the Cub Scout Pack camp out last night, so it stormed a little bit in the middle of the night. But for some reason, I woke up at 12:45 and I was up for a good 3 hours, so I might end up yawning at you. I'm so sorry. It was pretty fun though, listening to the crickets and the tree frogs and the rumble strip on the interstate all at once. And it was really surprisingly loud, but it was soothing at the same time. It was pretty cool.
Now you were in a tent
Yes,
and it rained?
yes. And it leaked.
Fun.
And then we came home today, and Monday, the 22nd of September, is Bilbo and Frodo's birthday.
Oh my goodness. How
I
did I
knew
not know this?
because you're a bad nerd. I am a good nerd.
Yes, I know I'm a bad nerd. Or was it I'm a bad nerd? I'm not geeky enough to be a nerd, or what was it you used to always say?
I don't
Nerds
even
can't
remember.
be
We're just going to go with bad overall because I am a complete Tolkien freak. Chrystal watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy with me at least 3 times, all 3 movies. I show her Hobbit. Galadriel comes on the screen and she's like, was she in the other movies? Is she someone important? Which means that my so-called friend, who's watched 9 times of these movies, is clueless about Galadriel. But you ask her something about Hangover 2, and she can quote things on that one. It's amazing that I'm friends with you.
But it has Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
You know, Bradley Cooper?
that's just wrong. Her son's name is Bradley. Anywho, I made the brisket from Pioneer Woman, and we had apple pie. And we will be eating brisket all week long, which
Did
is
you have
really delicious.
s'mores?
And so, s'mores
S'mores?
at the camp out, not at home today. I don't like them.
You don't?
No, I'm not a s'more person.
I love them. I haven't had s'mores in years.
You can make them in the microwave.
It's not the same. You need the crispy, overdone marshmallows.
You've got a grill on your deck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Well, do you have any FOs?
Do.
You only told me about one.
Well, you knew about the other one. You knew I finished my sweater.
Okay, I'm an airhead.
I finished my sweater. I finished my sweater. I finished my
Did you
sweater.
finish your sweater?
I finished my sweater. Look, it goes on. And there are a million ends to weave in.
So, I noticed this week, I made the observation to Chrystal that she has a signature knitting move. And that moved based off of my experience with my friend being ever so kind and generous and gifting me with many handmade items, is that Chrystal does not actually weave in her ends and trim them ever. Ever. I have so many things with ends. I wore a pair of socks like 4 times that she gave me before I finally, the string was just right. And I'm like, what is between my toes? No, the end. So she says she's
It's
going to do this on the sweater.
inside.
It's not going to happen on the sweater.
It's in the toe. I mean, it's not like it's at the edge where it could like stick out. It's in the toe, like all the way down in there.
And these ends, they're inside the sleeve. No one's going to notice when she doesn't do it.
Well, these you might
Just
notice.
tuck it on in. It's no big deal.
I did wonder. I did wonder if I could just clip them a little bit.
No!
I can't. I'm gonna have
No.
to run them in. Sorry.
Good job, Pumpkin.
So I'm gonna stand up so you can see a little better. Woo! That's as far back as I could go. So it's not blocked yet. Try and tiptoe. So
I really like that.
you can't really see the cables at the bottom.
No, but that's okay.
But it's done. And I decided not to do the buttons like we talked last week because I never close it anyway. And I can put a shawl pin if I decide I want. But it's finished. It's finished. It's finished.
Congratulations.
I have a hand spun, hand knit sweater for Rhinebeck.
for Rhinebeck.
Finished a month early.
Which gives you time to make another. For me.
And my other FO is a cowl. Are you ready?
Okay.
Because somebody was giving me a hard time this week about cowls.
That's not the cowl I was expecting.
I know it's not.
Which cowl is that?
It's the Irish mesh cowl by Joe Strong in Plucky.
That's cute.
It's a nice lightweight.
Yeah, that's perfect for fall.
It is perfect for fall.
Who would give you a hard
Somebody
time
doesn't
about
have good
cowls?
friends. Somebody's friends stink, and they don't make cowls for her.
It's been cold here, and I have only had one cowl to wear.
Well, here
With,
you go. Now you
by the way, an end hanging out.
do you really see an end?
No, the other cowl, the pay or whatever that you made.
I ran the ends in on this. I'll have
Did,
you know. So this will be in the mail for you.
oh, thank you.
So that you know that you do have friends that love you.
You were very awesome. And you ran the ends in.
And it was super fast. I started it Friday night, and I finished it Saturday.
Getting your car work done helps.
It does. I had hours to work on it. But we played on Pearl Street for quite a bit. But if you had one full day, like one Saturday or one Sunday, you could do that whole cowl. It was,
Should I make you one in exchange?
no.
You sure? Would only be fair.
You do all the blocking for me?
True. I wasn't planning to block your sweater. Do you want me to?
No. No, it's good.
It's a slower turnaround for something that you're going to want to wear. You're so
So what
awesome.
about you? You have a finished object.
I do. Although I don't feel it's not as impressive as your sweater, but
Oh, whatever.
I like the cowl.
Your C is done.
Hmm?
Your C is basically done. Just seaming.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Roto crochet. I did 8 repeats. It said, as written, that it was 18 by 60, and I wanted it longer, so I did 8 repeats, but then I also blocked it wider. And I didn't think to measure it after I took it off the blocking wires. Look, I ran the, get the right angle. I ran the blocking, because it starts off with a yarn over, and I ran the blocking wire through all of them to really help pull that out so we didn't lose that. But I blocked it, I pinned it out at 22, and I got 22 by 67.
That's a good size.
Yeah. So it's nice, it's drapey with all the mesh. It went quickly, 16 days. You know, it will work well for a scarf. It'll be large enough for a shawl. And man, I can really see myself doing one of these every year. 16 days.
That was
You
really
know,
nice.
I'm pleased when I get a pair of socks done in 16 days. And this is a nice, big alpaca shawl.
That's beautiful.
So I did go and block Sia, and I got a little confused.
Can Ben insert a picture here of Sia? In editing, we could try.
What sort of picture?
The picture of it blocking.
No, I deleted it off my phone.
Oh.
I'm completely out of space on my phone. I have a new iPhone on order with a lot more space because I am a person that must have every single picture I have taken since 2009 on my phone. Actually on my phone, not up in the cloud. It must be there so that I can look at my babies whenever I want. It takes up a lot of space. I think I have 5 milligrams free. Milligrams. Megabytes, whatever. I am not tech savvy. New phone on order. I'll be able to take pictures again.
The 6?
Yeah. So, anywho, I block Sia. It has that band that goes all the way around, and you block it 6.5 inches wide. So while I was looking at the schematics to block all the individual pieces, I got confused and concerned that that wasn't being allowed for in the drawings because there was no picture of the band or indication if it was part of the pieces or not with the blocking. And so I was afraid to block the full depth on the armhole part because of the 6.5. Well, then I went and actually sewed my shoulder seams and my side seams and realized that there's still, the back is sitting low enough back here that I can have that on there. But now my shoulder, not my shoulder, my arm openings are a little narrow, not as full as I would like because I didn't block it to the full amount. So before I actually sew the sleeves in and put the band on, I'm going to go ahead and reblock and give myself like an extra, I think 1/2, 3/4 of an inch in there, a little bit more space, just because I would hate to get to this point and not wear it because it was cutting in around my arms. So that's where Sia is.
So you don't have to unseam it, right? You can just block it already seamed.
Yeah, because around that spot there are no seams stopping me from stretching it.
Okay.
Once I put the sleeves in and sew on the band, it's going to be harder to do. Might as well do that step now. It's all a process. It's all good. That's where I am. Would you like to talk about your whips or shall I?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm still working on, because I've been working, I finished up my rotocrocite. I've been working on Sia, and I'm sitting on the end. So I've got some more progress on the drop stitch scarf. We'll get some more done. With the camp out and balloon glow and all that, I didn't have a lot of knitting time this weekend. And then I went and pulled out one of my other old sweaters because I have old sweater projects everywhere. And I got another 2 inches done, I think. These are the sleeves for my Twisted Vine cardigan by Carol Sunday. This is her Nirvana yarn, sport weight. It's a cashmere blend. This is in charcoal, so get it up there so you can see that it's not just black.
That's pretty. That's pretty.
Very soft. I don't deal in cashmere often. That's Chrystal's area, but this is really nice. So hopefully my gauge, I should probably actually measure, is good enough to where it was 4 years ago when I bought this and started it. But if it isn't, that's my own fault, and I'm just going to deal with it because I'm at the get her done point. So the back has been done. I'm working on the sleeves. They are going to end up 17 inches long, so I've got a little ways to go. That's okay.
So you're starting with the sleeves?
No, the back is already done.
Oh, good.
Then the sleeves. The front, this is one of the first sweater kits that I bought. And knowing what I know now, I don't know that I would have gone for it at my skill level then, because the front pieces, as lovely as they are a little involved. So while you're working on the front, you've got waist shaping on the side. Then you've got this little twisted cable going up, and it's a little narrow cable, so I should really get a picture in here. Oh well. Little cable going up, then short rows in that little teeny cable, and then a wide cable over here. So you've got 4 things going on in the front.
At the same time.
At the same time. At all different points, which is why I looked at that and said, we'll just do the sleeves now. So yeah, I've got that. I've got my drop stitch. I was up to the corner on Bridgewater, and it's short rows to get that lace edging around, and I haven't sat down to do that yet. I did pull out my self-striping lollipop. Ooh, stab that sock. And I got the heel flap and turn done, and I'm now back on the gusset. So
did you use the coordinating toe heel for
mm-hmm.
the heel flap?
Yep.
That's so pretty.
So this will get moving again. And actually, I'm at the point where I'm trying so hard to finish stuff up because I've got this whole accountability thing going on that I sit there wanting to work on other stuff and going, no, you can't. So it's pretty
Hear you.
interesting. What about you?
I worked on Moab, the very busy monkey pattern with the hand spun. I did do a little bit of progress on that. I think I'm to the point, I'm really close to the point where you start the pattern. I can't see if you can see
I like that.
it. So I think I need to count my stitches. I think I'm at the point where you start doing the edging, and I still have a good bit of yarn left.
Oh, yeah. I like that dark green on the edge.
Yeah, so I haven't decided. Her pattern is so wonderful. It's really easy to make it bigger, so I haven't decided. Now that I'm at a point where I'm almost there, I need to decide if I want to make the garter stitch bigger or if I want to make the border a little bit bigger. Because I do
Yeah.
like to use most of the yarn.
Hmm.
Even though I could set it aside for another project.
No,
I love her patterns. I love how flexible it is, and it's really showing off the hand spun well.
it really is. Now,
And
how are you liking
because
knitting
you
up?
what?
How are you liking knitting up that's the merino superwash merino silk, right?
Um, it's my Navajo plying that annoys me. So in places it's overplied and it's like rope, and in places it's underplied and it's like three plies just laying there.
Huh.
So clearly I need to practice on my Navajo plying because it is less than fabulous. But it's fine. I don't see anything special about it. You know, the way everybody was talking about this blend being so amazing, I'm not really sure why it's so amazing. It feels like a merino silk blend, knitting
Okay.
it up.
Well, now you know.
We'll see how it drapes. Maybe it's something with how it drapes, or I don't know. Everybody was just gaga over this blend, and so it was fun to spin. Spinning it to me was like spinning a merino silk. What about you?
Um, it seems a little bit slippery, more slippery than a merino silk, but I think I recall people discussing that what made it special was the different ways the different fibers took the dye so that it gave it more depth.
Oh,
So your merino takes dye in one way and the superwash takes dye in another, and then you also bring in silk. So just more color play going on. But it wasn't something that I personally noticed all that fabulously, and I'm still spinning it, and I like it, but it's slippery. It's more slippery to me.
I love Three Waters Farm, and I
Mhm.
will continue to buy her stuff because I love her stuff. But I probably would get Polar Silk instead next time.
You do love forward silk.
I do. So then, because you encouraged me to break out, I have not touched it yet, but I did pick up my Bridgewater. And you're right, the colorway name is teal. You are correct. Tempe is right.
I don't recall guilting you at all. I think you just said I should pull mine out, and I said yes. But you know what? It's documented now. We can check it. I could be wrong.
It is documented now. So I have my edge stitches picked up, and that's it. I have not touched it yet, but I did get it out, and it is now in my face so that I will work on it.
If people
Since
would stop hassling you about cows so that you could work on your other project.
and it's in a matching bag. I don't remember who this is
That's so
by. I love
cute.
this bag. I got it at Spring Fling. One of the girls came to Spring Fling and she brought some of her bags, and I don't remember her name. And I love this bag. And the other thing that you encouraged me to break out was my Noro Afghan.
Oh, yes.
So when I started it years ago, I was going to do the Japanese cross. It was when the tsunami hit, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And they had that Japanese cross pattern for a fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
They did a square. But I was very disappointed in the fact that there is more of the white than the Noro. I used almost twice as much white as I used yardage of Noro. And I wanted the Noro to be more highlighted. So I decided to do the 10 stitch square instead. So it's the 10 stitch blanket by Frankie Brown. Only the pattern is to keep going and going and going, and you just keep going. And I wanted to do squares instead. So I have these two are from the same ball. And then I have these two from one ball.
I like that little bit of a tiger's eye orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not such a fan.
Not so much. And so then I picked up, this week, I picked up the one that I was in the middle of. And I couldn't remember how I was doing the pickup stitch. And so there's a huge section here where that pickup stitch is totally different. And I could have ripped it out, but I didn't.
Is it going to bother you?
You know, when I look at it, it bothers me. And then I set it aside and I'm fine with it. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave it for artistic. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm going to leave it for artistic because I don't want to rip it out. And it's only, you know, a corner. It's one corner on one square. I think it'll be fine. Because when the whole blanket's put together, nobody will notice it. And I'm going to tell myself it's art.
It's that
So,
Amish mistake.
yeah.
Where the Amish say that only God is perfect and they supposedly deliberately put a mistake in every project.
Oh.
You have your Amish mistake?
I have my, that's a very good story. I like that. It's my Amish mistake. And it's in my Fat Squirrel Christmas bag from last year. And I have this in my car. I have a bag in my car with this for car knitting too. And that is all of my whips right now.
I have done no spinning.
I thought you were working on 3 waters.
Did I?
You did. I know you did because you did it while I was on the phone with you this
Wasn't
week.
that just last weekend though?
No, it was this week.
Was it?
It was. Maybe you didn't do much.
No, I still have this much left.
It's going to be so beautiful.
It really will. But I keep sitting there going, no, I must finish this knitting projects. I cannot spin. So I'll have to work on a nice balance. So I don't have that. I have no enabling. Well, do you have spinning?
No.
You were going hard and heavy on the spinning, and I was wondering when you were going to take a break.
I wanted to get the sweater done, which I finished that Monday or Tuesday. And then what did I do Wednesday or Thursday? I guess I worked on the, one night I worked on the 10 stitch. And the other night I worked on the Moab. And then Friday, Saturday I worked on the cowl.
So nice.
So this morning I did some fiber prep. but I didn't
Oh,
actually spin.
really? Now, which is this?
It's the Rock Day fleece. So Shuttle Spindles and Skeins does a challenge, I guess you'd call it, every year. And did I show pictures last week? I sent them to you. I don't think we talked about it in the show.
I don't think I got the Rock Day. I got the Treenway silk pictures that you talked about.
So every year they do a challenge and they pick a fleece. Actually, it's a couple fleece up at Estes, and then the spinning group spins them together. Not always like physically together, but and then for Rock Day, which is January 1st, and there's the whole die staff day. There's the whole history behind it of it's the women's day off. So it's really interesting history, but I don't remember all of it.
I'll have to look into that.
And so the theory is we all get fleece from Estes. Maggie Casey picks it out, and we get the fleece, and then we have a finished project for Rock Day. So last year we had Gleason's Bond, and I have not finished spinning it. I processed it all. I had 2 pounds, and I washed it, and I carded it, combed it, drum carded. I drum carded it because I made bats, but I have not spun it yet. And so that was last year's Rock Day fleece. This year she picked, it's a Corriedale Cross, I believe. The sheep's name was Zane, and it was gray. And the theme this year is blending, so mixing stuff in with it. So the fleece is washed, and I have some of it went through a drum carder once, but it's not blended. And then I have soy silk, silk, sea cell, and possum, New Zealand possum, and then regular Tussa silk. So I'm mixing 33 grams of wool, 7 grams of Tussa silk, and then 7 grams of one of the 4 other add-ins, whether it's soy, sea cell, diamond carbonized bamboo, the black bamboo, and the possum. So, and then I will 2-ply those, and I'm thinking my goal is to make a big shawl where each section is with a different yarn to kind of compare. I haven't decided if I'm going to dye it or not.
Well, it's already gray.
It's gray. But it would be interesting to see if I put it all in the same dye, how the different items take the dye differently.
Yeah, because like sea cell, I don't think I've ever seen sea cell take dye. The black diamond bamboo is black, so that's not going to take dye. The silk pick up the dye.
The icicle probably won't. Does the icicle?
No, I think that it does.
Does it?
I think so. I know like Firestar does.
So I'm not going to dye it. If I dye it, I won't dye it until after it's spun, and then I'll take just a few little strings and see what happens before I, ruin the project.
You do amazing work. I
So
seriously doubt you could.
that's due January 1st.
I didn't realize there were themes.
Yeah. So all I did was I separated the blending in items. I weighed it and put it in little Ziploc bags so that when I get to a drum carder, because I don't own a drum carder, so when I get to a drum carder, I have everything weighed out and bagged together.
Very cool.
But no actual spinning.
It's all part of the fibery love.
But I have enabling for spinning. So Jenkins Turkish Spindles is doing a challenge. It's called the Just Batty 2 Challenge. Signups have passed. So it was a couple months ago, I think now. You signed up and you picked five Nunico bat colorways that you liked. So I picked 5 colorways, and then everybody receives a name. So the person's name that I received, I picked one of her bats that I liked that I wanted to spin. So she gets that and I get that. The person that picked my name will pick a bat that she wants to spin and that I want to spin.
Okay.
So then you get 2 bats.
Okay.
And we're not supposed to show them yet, but since I don't think the person that has my name, or the person that I have her name, doesn't know that I have her name.
Do you want to risk this if you're not supposed to show them?
Yeah, because I'm sure she doesn't watch.
Okay.
So the 2 bats that I have are Vintage Bride and Hen.
Okay, the Vintage Bride is absolutely gorgeous.
The one I picked.
The hen is gorgeous too, but that's gorgeous to me, and it's not your sort of color. How did you get brown?
I don't know.
Because you had to pick from one of somebody else's.
It was not in my list. I think what happened was both were the same. The one that I picked for her and the one that was picked for me. So then they picked a different one so that I wouldn't have 2 of the same.
You know what? I don't have the eye for the people that do the combination spins, and some of their before, where I see the 2 braids together, are very questionable to me, but the finished yarn is amazing.
Yeah, I went through the Just Batty 1 thread, and like you said, some of the befores, I'm like, oh, that's going to be hideous. And then I look at the after, and I'm like, I would have never guessed. That is so amazing. So this needs to be spun on my Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have until January 1st, which it will take me every bit of that amount of time because I'm very, very slow. And I love Nunico's stuff, but the shipping is very high. So if I have to pay shipping, I'm going to get other stuff to ride with it.
Well, it's coming from the UK, isn't it?
Yes.
That explains the shipping.
I don't remember where. And it's fast. She ships really fast. I was very impressed. And the one lady that there's 2 ladies that really run the show. The one lady broke her arm, so the other one's doing it by herself. And it was still super fast. I was so impressed with how fast the shipping was. And for custom bats. So there were like 50 people in the challenge. So 50 people, each getting 2 bats. That's 100 bats.
And how much do those bats weigh each?
They are 50 grams. I'm pretty sure they're 50 grams.
Okay.
So to save on shipping, I wanted some more of the White Rabbit. I don't know if you remember, I spun that.
Oh, yeah.
It was
gorgeous.
so amazing. So I wanted some more of that, and I got another stitch marker with it.
Cool.
So more of the White Rabbit, and then some cobweb.
Oh, I like that. Look at you saving all this money.
And so my thought is to combo draft these together. I'm going to spin them on the wheel, and I learned from Southern Cross Fiber, you hold the 2 fibers together and then draft them together, and it blends them. And I think the cobweb is already such a mild, soft. I think blending that with the White Rabbit will be absolutely stunning. And some antique rose.
Oh, that's cute. All these soft colors.
I know. And then, of course, you had to have something special too. So we have something just for you. This is the cobweb.
Yay. I like that.
Yay. So that will be fabulous. So we saved on shipping because the one item, if you only buy one item, I think shipping is like $10. And each additional item is not much.
We are so good at saving money. High five.
The cat always wants, as soon as she hears your voice on Skype, she wants to come over. She
She's
does not come
taunting
play
me.
with me unless you're on Skype.
She knows I can't have kitties in my house. Hi, Miss Tori.
She misses you. And the only other enabling I have is a fat squirrel bag from the Halloween update.
That is so cool.
It is the sweater bag. I think it holds 6 skeins of yarn. And I actually had my sweater in here until I finished it.
You could put your work in progress Lena sweater in there.
I could put Lena in here. I really could. All I have left on that, I have to redo the one sleeve because the pooling and the gauge was off. They don't match. So I need to redo the one sleeve. And the sweater is up to the armholes. So it's mostly done.
It really is. It's going to fly after that.
Once I fix that one sleeve.
So after we went and recorded last week, and I see that we are already at 42 minutes, so we're longer than last week. But after we recorded last week, Chrystal and I sat here just gabbing about everything under the sun. So we'll gab with you guys, and you can choose to go on with your life or not, or you can listen to us gabbing. But I know one of the things we were gabbing about was Outlander, and I think a lot of us have been watching that. Chrystal, I'm just itchy everywhere. Sorry, it's this camping. Chrystal is all into Outlander. She, you must be so warm right now. She does the audiobooks, and how many times have you listened to each one of those? Like 5?
Oh, no, wait. I don't physically read books like turning pages. I do audiobooks. I physically read, like I turned the page. I've read the first 3 books, like physically read turning pages, the first 3 books 2 or 3 times. I know the first book I've read 3 times. And the second book I've read 3 times. I don't know if I read the third book 2 or 3 times, where I physically turn the pages.
That's a big deal for Chrystal.
That's a really big deal. But then the audiobooks, I've listened to the entire series twice. The newest book that just came out this summer, I've only listened to once so far. But the first 2 audiobooks, I've probably listened to 5 times.
Really? Okay, Outlander to you is Lord of the Rings to me.
Totally.
Okay. I've read the series, the Outlander series, at least once, possibly twice. I'm trying to listen to the audiobook. We will politely say, for people that are not familiar with Outlander, that there are parts that get rather tiresome between Claire and Jamie, and it's a lot nicer with a book to flip a couple pages and be done with that.
You can do the same thing with the audiobook. Just if you're doing it on Audible, there's the jump forward. Just click that.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I just push the forward. I think it's 30 seconds.
I put them on my iPod, so then when I go forward, it's more than 30 seconds. I think it takes me to like the next chapter, and you never really know where it is. Either that or I'm just afraid to do that, so I'm sort of
Are
stuck.
you using the Audible app? You're not using the Audible app.
No, this is an iPod Classic.
Oh.
which were just retired. But I have one.
Okay, because in the Audible app,
No, I don't have the app. It's the iPod
that's
Classic
what you
where
need to do.
it's a little screen. Mm-mm.
See the forward 30 seconds?
But see, again, you know, no space on my phone. Cannot load big giant book.
It is a big giant book.
Big giant book cannot load it. So maybe I put it with an Audible app when the new phone comes in.
Oh, when you get the new phone, are you getting rid of the old phone? What are you doing with the old phone?
My 11-year-old daughter gets to earn it.
Oh. How's she gonna earn it?
Really good grades and not being too tweeny. We're entering the period of angst. So she has already picked out her cell phone cover, Doctor Who TARDIS, because we are nuts about Doctor Who right now. Yeah, it's not hers yet.
Which iPhone are you getting? Are you getting the bigger one or the smaller one?
No, I stick it in my pocket.
So the smaller one?
Yeah, with more space, more memory space. So yeah, so the Outlander TV series, I've actually been enjoying a lot. And I have not seen, what have I seen? 5? Was this number 6 that just played this weekend?
8.
8? No
8.
way.
This is 8.
Okay, well then I've seen
No,
7.
7. No, 7.
Okay,
7.
I've seen 6 because I was camping and then I was getting ready for our little hobbity birthday dinner. So I have not seen the newest one, but I've enjoyed it and I've really liked that unlike a lot of other TV series, I don't, other than the first episode, it's not necessary for me to see people getting it on. Because frankly, if I want to see that, there's different movies for that. I'm going for a story here. So I've
But
enjoyed that.
you like Game of Thrones.
I try to avoid those scenes, I guess. I watch it and but it's tempered with, do we really need to see all of this stuff? So
Right. I am very much of the um like the movie Psycho.
never
It
seen
didn't
it.
show. It just hinted. And it was one of the scariest movies of its time and it didn't actually show anything.
That works for me.
That's less is more.
Speaking of less is more, I noticed when I watched the last episode, I guess number 6,
6.
I do not feel that anyone will develop the physique that the actor who plays Jamie displays by doing regular farm work, working with horses, swords. I don't think that can be developed without weights in a gym. And I don't think it's a very natural look, and it is not one that appeals to me. And he's a little overly bulked up to my mind. Other than that, as long as his shirt's on, it's all good. I think it's great. I love the period piece of it. I love the accents. I love that the guy that plays Dougal is also a hobbit.
Okay, so which Hobbit is he? How did I not know that? You're gonna
Well, I
smell.
can't keep them all straight, honestly.
Okay. Well, good.
13 of those hobbits for crying out loud. No, he's not a hobbit. He's a dwarf. He's a dwarf in the Hobbit series. He's not in Lord of the Rings. He's a dwarf in the Hobbit series.
Okay.
Can't think of his last name. Actor's first name is Gavin. We'll go with that.
So they made a comment which I don't understand. After I watched yesterday's episode, it said
Mm-hmm.
one more episode for the mid-season finale.
TV series.
Mid-season.
No,
So
this is
you
what
guys
TV
more?
series. This is what TV series are doing now because of like the award shows, I think. So they break it up so that they get in during like one timeline and then they come back later with another timeline. Or they've already caught all their viewers. They'll come in with some different show to try and pick up off the Outlander viewers, and then they'll go back to Outlander.
I want more episodes.
And you'll
There
get
are
them.
a lot of hours in this book.
It's a very long book. You're just going to have to wait. Yes, yes, indeed.
I want more.
I did start reading a different book,
What book?
Shogun by James Clavell. It's from the 1970s, and it's big. It's like over 1,000 pages. And when
Are you physically reading?
I bought it on the Kindle, so not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
I'm
not
reading,
audio.
but I'm not turning pages.
You're reading letters, not listening to audio.
Yes, and I have to say, with my Lord of the Rings, where I like to listen to the audio and read the book, you really pay attention on different levels. And I love that I'm constantly getting something new when I'm redoing, rereading, or re-listening, just for the different levels at which you're paying attention. So that's fun. But once I took up knitting, I didn't really read anymore. And I haven't been much of a reader because it's hard to physically read. And I know some people do it. It's hard for me to physically read and knit at the same time.
I was going to ask because I can't. I don't love to
No.
physically read, but
Yeah, which is where audiobooks are great, but some of these things, I'm just trying to physically read it. I think it's got something like 61 chapters, and what I'm going to have to do, I'm only through chapter one. So the prologue in chapter one, and it's interesting. It's set in Japan. My dad was in the Air Force, so we were stationed in Japan for 3 years. So I love the connection. I love Japan. I love the Japanese culture. I love the Japanese people. It's all fabulous. So that should really hold my interest. But I think I'm going to really just have to assign myself so many chapters a day to make sure that I keep up with it. Because it's a great book, but it's not the sort of thing, it's not potato chip. You can't pick it up and put it down. It takes getting your brain into it. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do like 3 chapters a day. I don't know. I have to figure out, am I aiming for 3 week completion once a month? Read one big book every month? Who knows?
yeah, I just started a new book. I finished one book this weekend and I just started a new one. Most of the books I listen to are fluff books. I like historical.
The romance.
Yeah, there's not necessarily the Harlequin, and I get frustrated again, similar to the movies. I don't need the details. You can hint to it without spelling it out. And a lot of them spell it out. And this one has this this series does spell it out a bit too much for me. So I like that skip fast forward.
No,
The
which
skip
series you
30
didn't say?
It's the Bastion series by Stephanie Lawrence.
I haven't heard of that one.
I think that's either the one I just finished or this one. I think it's this one. Let me see if it few details. Yep. So this is Mastered by Love. So it's the last book. I think it's the 8th book in the series. It's 15 hours. It's really good. I really have enjoyed the series. Again, it's a little bit detailed for me in places, but I just skip forward 30 seconds and but it's been a really good series. I like it's back in the 1700s. Let's see what it says.
In the olden days.
In the olden days with dukes and lords, and it was after the war with
There were a
France.
lot of wars.
There was a war with France because they
Like
talk about
every other year. Again, lots of wars.
late 1700s, early 1800s.
Okay.
It's good. I finished book 7 and started book 8 this weekend.
Fabulous.
I was working on, what was I doing? The cowl Friday night.
What a gorgeous cowl it is.
Because somebody does have friends who love her.
Well, it's been getting chilly here, so I've been trying to drink more of my tea, although now it's cold. But I got a new one from Tivana, apple lemon pomegranate rooibos. So good. Very nice and fruity. I highly recommend it.
So because I hit that huge sale at Celestial Seasonings and I bought, what, 6 or 7 boxes? Oh, I need to
Might have
remember to
been 8.
send you some.
That's okay.
Remind me when I send the scarf, I need to send me a text so that when I send the scarf, I send the tea with it. But because I bought 6 or 7 more boxes, I've been trying to go through some of my old teas and drink some of my older teas. And that's been interesting because I save them because I'm like, oh, this is a really good one and it's a really special one, so I don't want to drink it. So here it is 3 years later and I still have it. So
Order. I do the same thing.
yeah, so I need to drink them. So I'm trying to go through and drink some of my old teas. I was really excited to get the brand new teas, the brand new ones in the clearance section. That was
You
pretty
should go
cool.
ahead and drink them while they're new. You're worth it. You know, we are actually at almost an hour.
We should stop. It's going to take Ben. Ben is so awesome. A while to upload.
Oh, he's very good at that stuff. Well, thank you for sitting with us.
Thank
Can't wait to
you.
see what everyone's going to do with the honey cow cow. Cow cow.
Hopefully we've cleared up the technical issues and thank you for the feedback.
Yes, we very much appreciate that. Bye.